A Hashtag Studios production. Alright, this is going to be a quiz video on Chapter 7 of the ITGS textbook titled Databases. It's going to be a quiz testing your understanding of the chapter. So, introduction. Having read the chapter and all of its details, it's time to test how well you know the content through a series of questions straight from the textbook. Like all the other videos, questions come first, answers come next. Pause the video after each question. Write down your answers, and then you can compare it to the answers presented in this video. Alright, so the first question is going to be a little bit of matching. So there are 6 terms displayed to the left. They are foreign key, primary key, secondary key, criteria, check digit, and composite key. And they need to be matched with the appropriate definition. There are 6 on this side. The first one reads, a field which is unique for every record in that table. The second, a way of specifying the data to be extracted using a query. The third, a mathematical check performed on a piece of data to ensure it is accurate. The fourth, a field which links to another table's primary key to form a relationship. The fifth, a primary key which consists of more than one field. And the sixth, a field by which a table is often accessed or sorted. And so the terms on the left need to be matched with their appropriate definition on the right, so you can take time and just match the letters and numbers together, and then see how you did later on. Okay, the second question has a prompt to it, and the prompt's going to be presented first, and then the questions are going to be presented next. So the prompt is, several European cities have bicycle hire schemes, where registered citizens can collect any available bicycle from a public stand, authenticate themselves, and return it to another stand later. The cost of hire can automatically be deducted from the borrower's account, which is prepaid using a credit card. So the questions are, Part 1, identify 2 fields likely to be used in the bicycle hire database and their data types, and then define foreign key. Part 2, explain how a relational database helps data integrity. And Part 3, evaluate concerns that might arise through the use of such a bicycle hire database. So go ahead, take time, and record your answers. Okay, and then the third question. Before the widespread use of computers, large volumes of data, such as student records in a school, were stored in paper files and filing cabinets. Explain some advantages of using a computerized database to store information. Are there any disadvantages or potential problems with computer databases? Go ahead and record your answers. Okay, so the answers, the first to the matching. So, a foreign key matches with definition 4, a field which links to another table's primary key to form a relationship. A primary key with definition 1, a field which is unique for every record in that table. Secondary key matched with definition 6, a field by which a table is often accessed or stored. Criteria, matched with definition 2, a way of specifying the data to be extracted using a query. Check digit, matched with definition 3, a mathematical check performed on a piece of data to ensure it is accurate. And composite key, matched with definition 5, a primary key which consists of more than one field. Okay, so this was the question about the bike hiring scheme and the database that would be used. A wanted to identify 2 of the fields that would be used and their data type, and so 2 fields that might be used would be an ID for each of the borrowers for identification, because that would be a very useful primary key for identifying each of the different borrowers who get a bike. And also, most important field would be each borrower's account balance. Especially when you're dealing with them paying for the bikes, you need to make sure they have money in their account to pay for it. Then wanted a definition of foreign key. Foreign key is a key that exists only to be a part of a relationship with another table. So part 2 then asked how relational databases help with data integrity. And data integrity is making sure data is correct and up to date, and so relational databases help to ensure data is correct by simplifying the editing process. And so basically, not only does the data not need to be edited as much because you only need to edit the primary key and all other data will be edited as well through the relationships, but it also, that simplified editing process helps keep it up to date by not taking as long to update all the records. And then it wants some potential issues with using a Vicara database. And so some issues are potential unreliability of the authentication with the IDs, and the potential unreliability of the data with the account balance, along with the digital vulnerability of all the data in the database. And then the third question asked about the advantages of using the databases for storing things like school records. And so the advantages allow much easier access to specific fields and records, allowing school officials to get the right information about the right student at the right time. But potential disadvantages include potential data vulnerability and the necessity for data integrity, especially when looking at things like school records for all the students. Need to make sure all that data is correct to make sure all the records stay in place.